The Russia-Ukraine war has once again taken center stage in global politics. In a surprising turn of events, Russian President Vladimir Putin has hinted at the possibility of ending the conflict through negotiations, but with a clear warning that he is prepared to continue by force if diplomacy fails. His remarks come during a high-profile visit to Beijing, where he showcased Russia's political alliances with Chinese President Xi Jinping and North Korea's Kim Jong-un, signaling a massive show of power on the world stage. Speaking to reporters after signing a major gas pipeline agreement with China, Putin struck a cautiously optimistic tone. He said he could see a light at the end of the tunnel if common sense prevailed. According to him, there are signs that Washington under President Donald Trump is making sincere efforts to broker a settlement in Europe's largest land war since World War II. Trump himself has recently announced that he will be speaking more openly about Ukraine in the coming weeks, pushing for direct dialogue and hinting at stronger measures if peace efforts stall. Putin made it clear, however, that while he would prefer a diplomatic solution, Russia's long-standing demands remain unchanged. These include Kyiv abandoning any aspirations to join NATO and addressing what Moscow claims is discrimination against Russian speakers. He even went so far as to say he would be ready to meet President Volodymyr Zelensky in Moscow, but only if the meeting is well prepared and delivers concrete results. Ukraine's foreign minister swiftly rejected the idea of Moscow as a venue, calling it unacceptable. On the Ukrainian side, President Zelensky has been urging tougher US sanctions on Russia to force meaningful negotiations. While both sides talk about the possibility of dialogue, the gap between their positions remains vast. For Kyiv, Russia's demand to legitimize annexed territories is a red line. For Moscow, any compromise that doesn't secure its strategic objectives is off the table. Meanwhile, Trump continues to walk a delicate line. He has threatened secondary sanctions on Russia, but has yet to impose them. His administration's growing involvement is raising questions about whether Washington can push both leaders toward the negotiating table or whether the war will continue to grind on. For Putin, his Beijing visit wasn't just about diplomacy. It was a carefully staged political performance. Standing shoulder to shoulder with Xi Jinping and Kim Jong-un, he projected an image of strength, resilience, and defiance against the West. This trilateral show of unity comes as Russia's economy faces mounting pressure from sweeping Western sanctions, a reality that could make Moscow more receptive to negotiations, even as it flexes military and political muscle. In the end, Putin's message was clear. He would prefer peace, but only on his terms. If common sense prevails, an agreement is possible, he said. If not, we will resolve this by force of arms. As the war in Ukraine drags into another year, the world is watching closely, from Washington to Beijing to Kyiv. Trump's promise to raise the issue further, Putin's show of power alongside Xi and Kim, and Zelensky's calls for more pressure on Moscow all paint a picture of high-stakes diplomacy, where peace is dangled as a possibility, but war remains the dominant reality. The coming months may determine whether the light at the end of the tunnel is a genuine breakthrough or just another illusion in a long, brutal conflict.